The angels are blessing you right now. Yes, you, the one who felt something pull them to stop and listen today. Welcome, beautiful soul, to Angel's message for you. We are so grateful you are here, and we want you to know your presence in this moment is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. Before you move on, before another thought pulls you somewhere else, please stay. What is about to be shared with you today is not ordinary. It is not a message for everyone. It is a message that found its way to you because heaven has something specific it wants you to hear right now, in this season, in this chapter of your life. And by the time you reach the very last word, something inside your heart is going to feel different. Something is going to shift. So please, stay with me all the way through. Every single word that follows was placed here for you and for this exact moment. There is something happening in and around your life right now that you cannot fully explain with words. You feel it in the quiet moments, in that sacred space right before sleep comes, in that soft and persistent ache that shows up when the noise of the day finally dies down. It is like your heart is standing at the edge of something vast and beautiful, reaching towards something just beyond what your hands can touch. Like you are on the verge of something, but you cannot quite see its shape yet. And deep in the truest part of you, you already sense this is not nothing. This is not just your imagination running away with you. This feeling is real. It is a signal. It is a spiritual compass pointing towards something that is already in motion, already being shaped, already on its way to you. Here is what the angels have come to tell you today. There is someone out there, a real person, a living, breathing soul, who is being prepared for you. Not tomorrow, not someday in the vague and distant future. Right now, in this very season, while your eyes are moving across these words, something is shifting in the spiritual realm on your behalf. A love that is genuine, deep, and set apart is being shaped like clay in the hands of something greater than either of you. It is being cleared of everything that could cloud it. It is being made ready with a kind of care and intention that goes far beyond what any human plan could produce. This person, your person, has been going through a deep and real transformation from the inside out. Not the kind that shows up in a dramatic moment or announces itself loudly to the world. The quiet kind. The kind that happens in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday. The kind that happens in a single decision made at midnight when no one is watching. Everything within them is being rearranged. Old patterns that once felt like just the way things were, being broken apart, examined, released. Old wounds that had been quietly bleeding in the background for years, finally being brought into the light and allowed to heal. Connections and relationships and environments that no longer carry peace or purpose, being let go of one by one with a kind of gentle but unwavering firmness. All of this is happening so that when the two of you finally come fully together, there will be nothing standing in the way. No unfinished business from another chapter. No old noise drowning out the sound of something new and true. No weight from yesterday blocking the door to what tomorrow is holding. You might be asking yourself, why does everything feel so still right now? Why is there this strange, quiet pause in this area of your life? Why does it seem like things around love have just stopped? Here is what the angels want you to understand. What looks like stillness on the outside is not stillness at all. What feels like waiting is actually the most active season you have been in. Beneath the surface, below what the eye can see, preparation is happening at a level that is entirely spiritual. And spiritual work, the deepest, most lasting kind, does not always make noise. It does not always announce itself. But it is real, and it is powerful, and it is working. Your person is being prepared, and you are being prepared. and the love between you is being prepared. All at the same time, each in its own way, each in its own sacred timing. Let us talk about the farewell, because the angels have a message specifically about this, and it is one of the most important things you will hear today. Farewell, a letting go, is not an ending. It does not mean love has gone away. It does not mean something good has been lost. Sometimes the most loving, most necessary, most powerful thing that can happen in a person's life is the releasing of what no longer belongs there. So that space, real, open, peaceful space, can be made for what does belong. And your person has been doing exactly this. They have been saying goodbye. Not to you, they have not said goodbye to you. They have been saying goodbye to everything that could get between you and them and block what God is building. Friendships that looked supportive on the surface but quietly pulled energy away from purpose. Environments that kept them circling the same patterns and never moving forward. Versions of themselves, limited versions, fearful versions, versions built by old pain, that no longer fit who they are becoming and who they need to be for the love ahead. Each of these farewells has carried a cost. This is important to understand. It has not been painless. Walking away from the familiar, even when the familiar is not good for you, takes something out of a person. Closing a door on a relationship that once felt like comfort, even a complicated comfort, even a sometimes painful comfort, that requires a kind of inner strength that does not come easily. And your person has been doing it anyway, step by step, choice by choice, goodbye by quiet goodbye. Why? Because something inside them understands, on a level deeper than thought, deeper than logic, that what is coming requires clean ground. That you cannot plant something beautiful and lasting in soil that is still full of yesterday's weeds. That the love they feel growing in their chest, this love that is already pointed in your direction even if they cannot fully name it yet, deserves better than to be squeezed into leftover space. It deserves room. It deserves peace. It deserves to be the main thing, not an afterthought tucked around everything else. And so they are making room for you, even before you have arrived fully. Even before the story has completely unfolded, they are already choosing you. They are already acting on the love that lives in their heart. And that the angels want you to sit with this. That is one of the most profound expressions of love that exists. To choose someone before the moment of choosing is even visible. To prepare for someone before they are standing in front of you. That is not ordinary. That is sacred. Here is something else the angels want you to know. Even now, before you two have fully come together in the way that is coming, this person carries something of you in their heart. It is hard to describe in human words because it is a spiritual reality. But in their quiet moments, in the space between activity and rest, when the world gets still enough for the heart to speak, they feel something. A pull toward a love that is real and whole and honest. A longing not just for company or for comfort, but for the kind of deep, true, purposeful love that actually changes a person for the better. And that longing, that very specific, very real longing, has your name woven through it. Even if they do not know exactly how to say that yet, this knowing has been guiding their choices. Every difficult decision they have made in recent days. Every moment where they chose their own peace over someone else's noise. Every time they held a boundary that once they would have collapsed under pressure and let go. Every step away from what was easy toward what was true. All of it has been moved forward by something they feel but maybe cannot fully explain. A love that is already growing, already pointing, already reaching in your direction. You might wonder, can love really exist before the full meeting? Can someone really carry a love for a person they have not fully come together with yet? And the angels say to you, yes. Yes, absolutely yes. Because love is not only born in the moment of meeting. Love is often born in the becoming, in the preparing, in the quiet, faithful, sometimes painful work of becoming who you need to be so you can truly, fully show up for another person. Your person is in that process right now, learning, maybe for the very first time in their life, what it genuinely means to love someone well. Not the performance of love, not the habit of love, but the real thing, the choosing, the releasing, the building, the staying. And they are learning it so that when the time comes, they can offer it to you completely. Now, let us turn the mirror for a moment, because this story has two people in it, and one of them is you. While your person has been going through their own deep process of preparation and transformation, you have been going through yours, perhaps without labeling it that way, perhaps without even noticing it was happening. But think about the last season of your own life. Think about what you have released, what you have walked away from, what has quietly shifted in the way you see yourself and the way you see what you are willing to accept in your life. The people who have drifted away naturally, as if they were never meant to stay for this next chapter. The old ways of coping or settling or making yourself small that have started to feel uncomfortable in a way they never did before. The moments when you chose your own peace and your own truth even when it would have been easier to stay quiet. All of that is preparation. Every bit of it. God has been working in your life with just as much intention and care as in your person's life. Both of you have been in motion, from different places, along different paths, shaped by different experiences, but moving, growing, becoming, and moving in the same direction, toward each other, toward something that is being built in the spirit before it ever appears where the eye can see it. There is a truth here, one of the deepest truths the angels carry, that they want to plant in the center of your heart today. 2. People can be completely changed by a love that has not yet fully arrived in the physical world. The anticipation of real love, the knowing of it, the deep, bone-level, soul-level sense that something genuine and lasting is on its way. This alone has the power to transform a person from the inside. It rearranges priorities. It realigns values. It makes certain things that once seemed important feel suddenly hollow, and makes other things that once felt out of reach feel quietly, certainly possible. That transformation, that beautiful, quiet, powerful inner shifting, is what has been happening. On both sides of this story, simultaneously, by design, by the hand of something that sees the full picture even when you can only see the part right in front of you. And that design is good. It is wise. And it is working even right now, even in this moment. So what does this mean for you today, practically, in the life you are actually living? It means you are not waiting in vain. The longing in your heart is not a cruel joke or a sign that love has passed you by. It is actually confirmation that you are on the right path. It is your spirit recognizing something that your eyes have not yet caught up to. Like a compass that knows which direction is north even when the sky is cloudy and you cannot see the stars, your soul knows. And what it knows is this: love is already in motion toward you. And here is what the angels are gently, lovingly asking of you in this season. Take care of yourself. Not just your body, not just your routine, but your heart, your spirit, the deep, inner you that carries dreams and hopes and wounds and longings. Be tender with yourself in the moments of doubt. Speak kindly to yourself when the waiting feels heavy. Release what no longer belongs in the story ahead of you. Not because you are broken or because something is wrong with you, but because you are wise enough and brave enough to make room. Room for what is real. Room for what is honest. Room for what God has been so carefully, so faithfully, so lovingly preparing for you all along. Your person, the one whose heart is already holding a place for yours, is doing the same thing. They are making room. Day by day, decision by decision, they are choosing to clear the path between where they are and where you both are meant to be. And this is not small. This is not easy. This is one of the most courageous things a human heart can do, to hold on to the vision of something true and beautiful while doing the hard, unglamorous, private work of becoming ready for it. Let us go even deeper into what the angels want you to understand about this season of farewell and preparation. Because it is not just external, not just about which people are walking away or which doors are closing. The most important farewells are the internal ones. The ones no one else can see. The ones that happen in the quiet of a person's own heart. Your person has been saying goodbye to old versions of themselves. To the part that once accepted less than they deserved because they did not yet believe they deserved more. To the part that stayed silent in situations that called for them to speak their truth. To the part that gave endlessly to people who received everything and gave almost nothing back, and told themselves that was just what love looked like. To the fear, the deep, old, sometimes barely conscious fear, that maybe they were not worthy of the kind of love they dreamed of. That maybe the real thing was for other people, not for them. Every one of those old, limiting, no longer true stories is being let go. Sometimes with tears streaming down in a moment of unexpected grief. Sometimes with a long, slow exhale that feels like something physically leaving the body. Sometimes with just a single private decision made in the middle of an ordinary day. A decision that no one else witnesses but that changes everything. And each time one of those old stories is released, something opens. Something that was tight and cramped and heavy becomes spacious. And in that spaciousness, in that beautiful, newly cleared space, your name is already written. Your person has also been learning something that the angels want to highlight for you specifically. They have been learning to trust. Not just to trust in the idea of love, but to trust in timing. To trust that preparation is not wasted time. It is invested time. To trust that the quiet, unglamorous work of healing and growing and clearing is not a detour from the destination but part of the road itself. And this trust has not always come without a fight. There have been moments of real doubt. Moments of lying awake wondering if all this work, all this waiting, all this letting go is actually leading anywhere real. Moments when the temptation to just settle for something easier, something right here, something certain even if it was not right, that temptation pressed in hard. But even in those moments, they have chosen faith. Even in the darkness of the doubt, something steadier than the doubt has held them. And that steadiness, that anchor, is the love they carry, the love they feel, the love they have decided to protect at the cost of comfort, at the cost of convenience, at the cost of being understood by everyone around them. Because this person knows in the deepest place a person can know something, that what they feel is real. And real things are worth protecting. Real things are worth waiting for. Real things are worth every sacrifice made in the silence of an ordinary season. The angels also want to speak to something specific that you may have been feeling. A kind of disconnection. A sense that even the world around you does not quite fit the way it once did. Things that used to feel satisfying somehow feel a little hollow. Relationships that once occupied a central place in your life have started to feel slightly off, slightly out of alignment with where you are headed. Habits and routines that used to bring comfort have started to feel like things you are ready to outgrow. If this resonates with you, if you have been feeling this kind of quiet, low-level restlessness, this sense of being between one season and the next, hear this. That is not a sign that something is wrong with you. That is alignment. That is your spirit responding to the movement that is already happening in the spiritual realm around your story. When two hearts are being prepared to come together, the universe begins to rearrange the environment around each of them. What does not belong starts to feel out of place. What is not meant to come along into the next chapter starts to feel heavy, uncomfortable, quietly wrong. And the heart, which is always smarter than we give it credit for, begins to naturally, organically create distance from what does not fit. This is not failure. This is not loss. This is divine rearrangement. This is love working through the back channels of your life to clear the way for itself. Let us talk about what is ahead. Because the angels do not bring a message like this simply to leave you suspended in the waiting. There is always a forward movement in what heaven speaks. And today the message is clear. What is being built between you and your person, this love, this connection, this sacred and specific story, is real, it is alive, and it is moving toward a moment of full expression. The timing belongs to God, but the promise is already written. There is a moment coming for you, not in some vague, indefinite future closer than that. A moment when everything that has been happening beneath the surface will begin to emerge where you can actually see and feel it. A moment when the spiritual becomes tangible. When the work of preparation suddenly reveals the thing it was preparing for. When two paths that have been converging, slowly, faithfully, against all the noise of the world, finally meet in a way that your heart recognizes before your mind has caught up. And when that moment comes, you will not need an explanation. You will simply know. The way morning just knows it is morning. The way spring just knows it is spring. Something inside you will be still. Something inside you will be at peace. And in that peace, a recognition, quiet, certain, profound, that this is what all of it was for. Pay close attention to the signs that the angels are placing in your path in the coming days. A dream that stays with you after you wake. One that carries not a story you can fully explain, but a feeling, a warmth, a sense of something almost familiar. A song that finds you when you least expect it and reaches into something deep, something tender, something real. A moment of unexpected stillness in the middle of your busy day where, for just a breath, everything feels okay. More than okay, right? And you do not quite know why. A name, a number, an image, a phrase that keeps returning to your awareness gently but persistently. These are not accidents. Heaven communicates in the language of the Spirit, and your spirit is fluent. Learn to listen to it. Learn to honor what you feel. Learn to trust the signals. Do not try to hurry this. Do not attempt to push the timeline faster than it is designed to go. Do not abandon your own healing or shrink your own growth just to make the waiting feel shorter. The timing that is unfolding around you right now is not running late. It has not forgotten you. It is moving at exactly the pace that is required for the full expression of what is being built. And that pace, even when it feels slow, even when it feels like too much silence, is wise. It is purposeful. It is kind. There is also something the angels want to speak directly to the part of you that has wondered, quietly, maybe even privately, in moments you would not share with everyone, whether you are truly worthy of this. Whether the love you hope for is really meant for someone like you. Whether your story, with all its complicated chapters, has disqualified you from something beautiful. And to that part of you, the angels speak with full and tender clarity. You are not disqualified. Not by your past. Not by your mistakes. Not by the times you chose wrong or loved poorly or held on too long to what was already gone. Every single one of those chapters has been teaching you something, shaping something, growing something in you that is needed for what is ahead. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming, and becoming real. Deep, genuine becoming is one of the most beautiful things a soul can do. Your person, the one who is already carrying you in their heart, is not looking for someone without a story. They are not looking for someone without scars. They are looking for someone real, someone honest, someone who has walked through hard things and come out softer, not harder, more open, not more closed, more faithful, not more fearful. And that is exactly what you are becoming, exactly what this season is producing in you. Not in spite of the difficulty, because of it. There is a prayer that has been spoken, maybe without words, maybe without fully knowing that is what it was, over the story of your love. Words lifted from a heart that longs for what is real and true and lasting. And heaven has heard those words, every one of them, every quiet hope, every honest cry, every silent prayer offered up in a moment of longing. None of it has been lost. None of it has gone unnoticed. Heaven does not miss the prayers of a sincere heart. And your heart, with all its hoping, all its waiting, all its faithful endurance, is one of the most sincere hearts the angels have had the honor to watch over. So here is what the angels are asking of you today. Not something dramatic, not a grand gesture, something simple, and something that requires the kind of quiet courage that is actually far braver than anything loud. Open your heart, a little wider than it was before you started reading these words. Let some more of the fear go. Not all of it, just a little more. Choose trust, even if trust feels unfamiliar or risky right now. And take care of yourself truly, consistently, with gentleness and intention. As someone who is loved, who is valued, who is seen by heaven, and who is absolutely worth every good thing that is on its way to them. Because you are worth it. The love that is being written for your life is not an accident or a consolation prize. It is a promise. It is specific. It is real. And it is being carried toward you right now by someone who has already been choosing you in the quiet, even before you are fully together, through every hard decision, every released attachment, every act of faithful preparation. Your person is not standing still waiting for life to deliver something to them. They are moving. They are making choices. They are healing, growing, becoming. They are clearing the path between where they are and where you both are destined to be. And they are doing it with a faithfulness, a seriousness, a quiet fire of conviction that speaks of how deeply and genuinely they feel what they feel. When the two of you finally come together, when all of the preparation on both sides reaches its divine moment of completion and the two paths finally fully converge, it will not feel like luck. It will not feel like timing that just happened to line up right. It will feel like something that was always true becoming finally, visibly, undeniably real. And you will look back at this season, this quiet, heavy, hopeful, sometimes lonely, always purposeful season, and you will understand it in a way you cannot quite understand it yet. Every farewell will make sense. Every moment of silence will be revealed as necessary. Every step of preparation will be seen for what it was, not a delay, but a love letter written in time. That moment is coming. The angels are certain of it. And they want you today, right now, with whatever you have, to be certain of it too. You are loved more than you know. You are watched over and guided and accompanied. Not for one single moment are you alone in any of this. Heaven walks with you. The angels go before you and behind you and beside you. And the love that is being written into your story, the real, lasting, God-breathed, soul-level love, is not a distant maybe. It is a promise being kept. One quiet, faithful, courageous, purposeful step at a time. By your person, and by you. Hold on, beautiful soul. Not with tight fists and exhausting anxiety, but with open hands. With a heart that has heard the truth today and has chosen, freely, fully, faithfully, to believe it. with the steady confidence of someone who knows that what heaven has promised cannot be undone by time or distance or doubt. Your love is real. It is alive. It is on its way to you. And you, simply by being here, simply by opening your heart wide enough to receive this message today, have already shown that you are ready. Heaven sees you. Heaven hears you. Heaven is working on your behalf in ways that are greater and more specific and more beautiful than anything you could plan or engineer on your own. Stay in faith, dear one. Stay in peace. Be gentle with your heart. Trust the process. Honor the season. And keep going. The best is truly, absolutely, without any shadow of a doubt, divinely, perfectly, lovingly, yet to come. With infinite love surrounding you, your guardian angels. And before you go, there is one more thing the angels want to leave with you. One final truth to carry into the rest of your day and the rest of your week and the rest of this season you are in. There will be moments, guaranteed, unavoidable moments, where the doubt creeps in again, where the silence feels louder than usual, where something around you triggers the old fear that maybe this is not real, maybe nothing is actually moving, maybe you are fooling yourself. In those moments, the angels are asking you to do one specific thing. Come back to what you felt when you first started reading these words. Come back to that pull, that recognition, that quiet but certain inner yes that stirred in you as these truths were unfolding. That response in your spirit, that is not something that was created by beautiful language or wishful thinking. That is your soul recognizing truth. That is your heart responding to something it already knew on a level that precedes words. You do not need to manufacture faith. You do not need to force yourself into a feeling of certainty that does not yet fully live in you. All the angels are asking is that you protect the small flame of knowing that is already there. Do not let the wind of doubt or the noise of the world extinguish it. Cup your hands around it, breathe gently on it, and trust that a small, steady, protected flame, tended faithfully over time, becomes something that cannot easily be put out. Your person is doing the same thing. Right now, in whatever moment they are living as you read these words, they are tending their own flame. The flame of the love they feel, the flame of the hope they carry, the flame of the belief that what God has placed in their heart is real and is worth protecting, worth waiting for, worth every single sacrifice they have made and every farewell they have walked through. They are keeping it alive, and so are you. And that two people in different places, each keeping the same flame burning in their own hearts, is one of the most spiritually powerful things that can happen. It is what the angels call an agreement in the spirit, a shared intention before the full meeting, a love that is already choosing itself before it has fully arrived. Think about what that means for a moment. Right now, today, in this exact moment in time, there is a love story being written that you are the main character of. Not a fantasy, not a projection, a real story, with real people, with real spiritual momentum behind it. And that story is unfolding with the precision and care of something designed by hands that know the full picture. Every chapter, every detail, every seemingly random moment that is actually perfectly placed. You are in that story. Your person is in that story, and heaven is in that story, writing it line by line with more love than either of you fully knows. Let us also speak for a moment about something that might be living in the background of your heart right now. Uncertainty, not the sharp, loud kind of uncertainty that announces itself boldly, but the quiet kind. The kind that does not scream but just whispers late at night. Things like, what if I am reading too much into this? What if this feeling in my heart is just something I want to be true rather than something that actually is? What if I am waiting for something that is not coming the way I imagine? The angels hear that whisper. They do not dismiss it. They do not tell you to just ignore it and pretend it is not there. Instead, they want to sit with you in it for a moment and say this: the fact that you ask those questions is not weakness. It is honesty. It is the beautiful, complicated, very human reality of hoping for something you cannot yet fully see. And here is what the angels say in the presence of that uncertainty. Your doubts do not change what is true. Your questions do not alter the trajectory of what is already in motion. The spiritual reality of what is being built for you does not depend on you maintaining a perfect, unshakable belief every moment of every day. It is not that fragile. It is not held together by your performance of faith. It is held together by something infinitely stronger than you, the purpose of God, the love of heaven, the specific and deliberate design of a story that was written before you were born. All that is asked of you is to keep showing up, to keep doing the next right thing, to keep caring for your heart with kindness and intention, to keep releasing what needs to go, to keep making room, and to keep trusting, even when trust feels like a reach, even when certainty feels elusive, that what heaven has spoken over your life is real. Because it is, and nothing, not time, not doubt, not the noise of the world, not the silence of the waiting, can make it any less so. There is something the angels also want to say about the people around you, the ones who perhaps do not quite understand this season you are in, the ones who see the letting go, the stepping back, the quiet withdrawal from certain things and certain circles, and cannot make sense of it. Maybe they have asked questions. Maybe they have offered opinions you did not ask for. Maybe they have worried out loud in a way that put pressure on you to explain yourself or to defend a journey that does not owe anyone an explanation. To you, the angels say simply, you do not need to be understood by everyone. You do not need permission to walk the path that is yours. You do not need to shrink the scope of what you are becoming to fit inside someone else's ability to comprehend it. Some journeys are private by design. Some seasons of deep inner preparation are not meant for public commentary. The most sacred things are often the quietest ones. And what is happening in your life right now, the clearing, the healing, the growing, the making ready, is sacred. It deserves to be protected, not hidden out of shame, but guarded out of reverence. Because what is being built is precious, and precious things deserve to be handled with care. Your person has been learning this too, learning that not everyone around them is equipped to understand what they are doing or why. Learning that some of the most important decisions of a life are made in private and lived out quietly before they are ever understood by the people watching. Learning that faithfulness to the call of your own heart, even when it looks strange from the outside, is one of the greatest acts of courage available to a human being. And they have been living that courage, day after day, in ways that most people around them cannot see. You and your person have more in common than you may currently know. Not just in the feeling that connects you across whatever distance exists right now, but in the character being formed, the strength being built, the specific kind of readiness, not a perfect, problem-free readiness, but a genuine, honest, wholehearted readiness that only comes from having walked through real things and come out the other side still believing, still hoping, still open. You are both becoming that. You are both arriving at that readiness. And it is beautiful. It is exactly what was needed. It is exactly what this love requires. Now, as these words near their close, the angels want to give you something practical to carry with you. Not just feelings and inspiration, though those matter, but a real, usable anchor for the days ahead when things feel uncertain or heavy or slow. When doubt comes, and it will come, because doubt visits every heart that hopes. Say this out loud if you can, quietly in your spirit if that is all that is available. What is meant for me cannot miss me. Let those words settle in. Let them be more than just a phrase. Let them be a declaration. What is meant for you? The specific love, the specific story, the specific person whose heart is already holding yours, cannot miss you, cannot take a wrong turn and end up somewhere else. It cannot be rerouted by someone's bad choices or by a delay in timing or by any of the fears that try to convince you it might slip through your fingers. What is meant for you is yours, period. Without condition, without exception. When loneliness presses in, and it will, because longing is part of the season of preparation, remind yourself of this. I am not alone in the waiting. Somewhere, someone is waiting too, preparing too, clearing space for me too, choosing me in the quiet even before we are fully together. That is real. That is happening. And I am not on the outside of a story that belongs to someone else. I am in the middle of my own story, and it is a good one. And when the questions come, the why not yet, the how much longer, the am I missing something, breathe. And then come back to the truth that has been spoken over you today. You are being prepared for something real, something lasting, something that goes far beyond a season of romantic feeling and reaches into the territory of genuine, soul-level partnership. That kind of love, the kind that is built right on solid ground with honest foundations, with two people who did the work of becoming ready before they arrived. That kind of love takes the time it takes. And every moment of that time is purposeful. The angels are with you, not in some distant, abstract, theoretical way. Present, attentive, near, closer to you right now than the breath that is moving through your body as you take in these final words. They see you. They know your name. They know the specific texture of the longing in your heart and the specific shape of the love that is coming to meet it. And they are not just observers. They are participants. They are working actively, specifically right now on behalf of the story being written for your life. Trust them. Trust the one who sent them. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust yourself, the version of you that is being shaped and refined and made ready. And trust the love that is already alive in the heart of someone who has been choosing you in the quiet, in the private places no one else sees, in the faithful and courageous everyday decisions that are clearing the path between where they are and where you both are meant to be. This love is real. It is alive. It is coming. And you, beautiful, faithful, open-hearted you are ready for it. Heaven sees you. Heaven loves you. Heaven is working on your behalf in ways that are more specific, more personal, and more powerful than anything your mind could engineer. Stay in faith. Stay in peace. Stay in the truth that was spoken here today. The best, the absolute, undeniable, God-designed, heaven-blessed best is yet to come. With infinite and unending love, always and in all ways, amen.